Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for taking time out this evening. I know it's been a tough week for many of you. You're totally exhausted. You want to go home, put your feet up. But we're thrilled that you came to enjoy this brief evening with us. In 1930 was a special year, 1930 being obviously our fashion group birth. As Walter Cronkite would say, filled with those events that alter and illuminate our times. A few among these events you might be interested to know was the arrival on our planet of the Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor and the man who jumped over the moon, Buzz Aldrin. 7th Avenue manufacturer of designer dresses, Herbert Sondheim, became a father of a musical genius. Scotch tape came in a roll. And Fashion Group's founding members met at 7 East 12th Street, a space donated by Louis Fairchild, publisher of his family's newspaper, Women's Wear Daily. Thanks to the importance of our mission, the dedication of our board, our committees, our global reach within the membership, our generous sponsors who support us each and every event, including this one, we are here today to celebrate a remarkable milestone. You guessed it, but I'm not 85. Fashion Group's 85. I'm headed in that direction. So please join me in thanking our sponsors today, the Knickerbocker Hotel, the Evans Communication Team, and the AV Workshop. Lastly, I'd like to welcome Don. Don is the chairman of the board of Fashion Group. Where are you, Don?
Right here.
Who is going to be the Toastmaster to bring up a few of our well-known members who have been such loyal supporters of Fashion Group to say a word of endorsement.
Good evening, everyone. I am the chairman, and what that means is I do whatever Margaret tells me to do. And I know you all do too. That's why you're here tonight. She told you to be here, and you're all here. So thank you for coming. 1930 was an incredible year. It was actually the first year that Greta Garbo spoke on the giant screen. She had made silent movies, had a lot of fans, but she asked for a martini in a movie, and the crowds went wild and fell in love with her immediately. Actually, when I heard Rosemary Bravo speak the first time, I had the exact same effect on me. So please help me welcome Rosemary Bravo to the microphone.
What a great night, and it's hard to believe 85 years, and I realized I know Margaret Hayes almost half those years. Back at the Macy days, the Saks days, the I. Magnin days, as a colleague, as a competitor, as a friend. And what she has done with this organization is nothing short of remarkable. And I know we want to salute you, Margaret, because we think you're a visionary, you're somebody who has kept this organization vibrant and alive and relevant for so many years. You're constantly tweaking it, as any great brand does, and you're the leader for us, and we just want to salute you and maybe be the first one to toast you and wish you all the best, and 85 more years. Thank you.
I don't want anybody else saying a word about Margaret.
All right, that's not going to happen. All right. So right before I came up here, Margaret goes, "Oh, we're just going to change one thing. We moved speaker number 5 to number 1, so my script is, so it may not make any sense at all." Anyway, 85 years is an amazing milestone for any organization. If you look at the history on our website, it's really quite fascinating. Among the originally founding members were a number of designers, Lily Dock, Claire McCardle, Claire Potter, Adele Simpson, trend spotter Tobey Kohler-Davis, legendary costume designer Edith Head, and the future First Lady of the United States, Eleanor Roosevelt. Not really sure how she fits into that thing, but they were happy to have her.
She's a feminist.
Anyway, and tonight we have obviously an equally illustrious group of speakers. So let's go on with another great designer and a huge Yankees fan, Norma Kamali.
It's an honor to be here at Margaret's request, of course. But I think besides just doubling everything Rosemary said, I think the fashion industry always needs a friend. You always need a place to go where somebody's going to hold your hand and be a friend and put their arm around you. And that's what Margaret created. So the fashion group has basically been a friend to anyone who's come into the industry who needed to know something, where to go, how to do it, what's going on, help me out. And she stayed relevant, and she and the fashion group and everyone involved keeps us together and with a big hug. So a big hug to the fashion group and to everyone involved. Thank you so much.
Okay. Margaret talked about some exciting events that happened in 1930. There were some others. Bonnie actually met Clyde. It was actually quite by chance at a mutual friend's house, supposedly. Eastern Airlines flew passengers for the first time in 1930, and Hostess Twinkies arrived on counter around the country. I find it really interesting that only Twinkies in the fashion group have survived all of this. But here's Ralph Rucci to explain why.
It's a great pleasure to be here tonight to toast Margaret and her nuns. You know, when they started, the history of Lily Daché, Nanduskin, and all of these great women of style and emotion, they were part of the original organization. I think Margaret and her ladies mirror that. Remember when John Fairchild coined this phrase of the fashion nuns? They're like the Mother Superior and her nuns. What can I say? To reiterate what Norma said, unlike other organizations, they're so nice. These are such extraordinary, wonderful, emotional, humane women and men.
Well, now we have the priests. You know, we got the men.
Yeah, but that's what makes it such an extraordinary organization, their kindness. So, congratulations. And Rosemary said 85 years. I thought it was 75.
85.
85.
85.
God bless.
1930.
Okay, good night.
Besides Mrs. Roosevelt, the others that I mentioned, there were actually two major fashion editors who were part of the original founders. One was Margaret Case, and the other one was what they called the Dean of Fashion Editors, the New York Times writer Virginia Pope, who actually created the first New York fashion shows during World War II when France closed and no one could go. So her fashion shows, I just found this was interesting. They eventually became like fashion extravaganzas, and they were renamed Fashions of the Times way back in 1930. So tonight we have a successor to the fashion journalism empire, Nina Garcia. Nina?
Hi everyone, happy anniversary Fashion Group International. Fashion Group has been champion of the fashion industry, at the forefront of leading the conversation really on trends and designers and topics and issues since 1930. I know that everyone here would join me in feeling the gratitude and the happiness to be part of it. To those ladies, those pioneering women that founded this organization 85 years ago, I am sure are looking at us from above thinking, wow, good job, ladies. And to Margaret Hayes, thank you so much for your intractable determination to move us forward. And cheers to another 85 years.
Back in those days, there were two major beauty empire builders, really, Elizabeth Arden and Helena Rubinstein, who were both on the board and part of that original gang. That must have made for some really exciting meetings, because these two women absolutely hate each other. I'm sorry I missed it, actually, it would have been fun. Madame Rubinstein referred to her competitor as that woman, and Miss Arden referred to her competitor as the other one.
For those of you who don't know, that man was Charles Revson. That was the old argument that went between Estee Lauder and Charles Revson himself. It's a great honor to be here tonight representing the beauty industry for Fashion Group International. Margaret Hayes gave me my professional break as a buyer many, many, many years ago in the 1980s. And I owe a tremendous amount to Margaret, and I think it speaks tonight to the incredible gravitas not only of Margaret Hayes but of Fashion Group International, because what FGI does is it creates a center of gravitas that the international design, fashion, and beauty community look to and celebrate not only emerging talent, but talent that has set the legend for what today is about as well. So we need Fashion Group International, and we need visionaries like Margaret Hayes to keep the aspiration high, to motivate the next generation, and to keep us moving forward. So thank you. Congratulations.
Not everything in 1930s was as good as Twinkies. It was at the beginning of the recession, about 25% of the American workforce was unemployed. It was also, there was a huge drought in the US, which created horrible, what they called the Dust Bowl years, and it was really a dreadful time. Unfortunately, that's when the government chose to put in prohibition. And if you ever needed a drink, it was then. To tell us more about that, here's Michael Clinton.
I'm not quite sure I understand the segue, but drink up, everyone. 1930 has two very important moments in my life. The most important, the birth of my mother and the birth of Fashion Group International. Some of you might know that the legendary editor Carmel Snow from Harper's Bazaar was one of the founding mothers of FGI. So get ready for 2016 when Harper's Bazaar turns 150. We got some big things happening. I'm thrilled to be here on behalf of all my colleagues, Nina Garcia from Marie Claire and Project Runway and so many other great initiatives, and Elle and Town & Country and Cosmo and 17 and on and on. It's great to be here. We're one of the proud sponsors of so many of the programs from FGI this year, and we wish you 85 more wonderful, happy years. Happy birthday.
It's true. The offices were originally donated by Fairchild, then Hearst and Harper's stepped in. And in 1934, we actually have board meeting minutes where they had a discussion about how do we move into. They wanted to go to 30 Rock. Which interesting. So they decided they were going to put together a Fashion Follies, and it was a night where all the industry people would mock each other and do this huge spoof, and it became this huge show. And they raised enough money to move into the new offices at 30 Rock. So. The creative minds that went into that have always been a big part of Fashion Group, and the creative minds are something we've always really relied on. It's a much better transition than the alcohol one. So now help me welcome two of our greatest creative minds, Ruben and Isabel Toledo.
Hello to our fashion family. I have to say Margaret Hayes and her incredible team at FGI have the magic touch. That's the touch of humanity. They know how to embed beauty and love and joy into everything we do. That's why I'm very proud to be part of this fashion family. But she defies classification. How would you describe her?
Well, when I think of Fashion Group, I think of a quilt, a fashion quilt made up of the most diverse group of people you can imagine, all participating and using the services of Fashion Group, which is really important. If I was Eleanor Roosevelt, I would be really happy to know that I have a Margaret Hayes at FGI. So this is
Bravo,
quite amazing.
Congratulations, huh?
Congratulations.
So as you're thinking about 1930, I'm sure what's going through your mind is, I wonder what things cost back then. So I'm going to tell you. So to rent a house in America, the average price was $150 a month. A loaf of bread was 9 cents, and a pound of hamburger was 15 cents. I'd now like to welcome Carolina Herrera to the stage.
Hello, everybody. 85 years as a Fashion Group. Congratulations. For all this, Margaret Hayes, she has done a fabulous job promoting American fashion all over the world. And I think we have to stay together, as everybody say everything already, so I don't have anything else to say, but congratulations, Margaret and the Fashion Group, 85 years.
Thank you.
So over the years, the organization has done some amazing things. But as we've talked about tonight, 22 years ago, the organization took a major step forward when they hired Margaret Hayes as their new president. She's smart, she's direct, she's aggressive, she knows what she wants, and she drives us all to get there. In 85 years from now, when the organization celebrates its 170th, Margaret will be remembered as the leader who built FGI to an organization of men and women in 28 regions with a membership of over 5,000 people. Margaret from the beginning has focused on our mission, which is to help our members advance their careers, and she has done this through the development of a robust 12-month calendar featuring programs, symposiums, trend overviews, and design awards that do just that. Thank you, Margaret, for all you do for us, and thank you all for coming tonight.
Everybody have a drink.
On you.